2021 was an exciting year. We can see that the total number of unicorns, even more than double of the total number in 2019. We also witnessed our valuable customers to become unicorns, and many more are coming to become unicorn in the near future. In 2022, we will commit even more. We will invest millions of dollars to support the local startup ecosystem, to collaborate with VC, incubators, training and association partners to provide a knowledge, consultation, and hands-on guidance through your journey of digitalization.
In 2017, we got our first customer in Indonesia, which, as you can see here, was Gojek. They implemented our KYC solution.
Automotive industry, including the after-sales market, is very like traditional, and you can say it's a dinosaurs industry. It's very long.
Toko Crypto established in 2018, and then right now we are the first regulated crypto exchange in Indonesia.
We were talking about the cloud-native digitalization.
Depict why they really believe that they can solve the problem that they see in the market, right?
Because it's just the infrastructure readiness is not there yet.
And in local teams, we support our own Indonesia ecosystem. So what are the benefits? So as you can see here, we have 7 different kind of aspect we would like to support.
Me become a solution architect, then you can consult related the architect do you want to build on Alibaba Cloud infrastructure.
So in this unlock the full power of cloud, we believe in these 4 pillars, which is our main objectives.
When enterprise is considering private cloud migration, what would be the criteria standard? There is no matter of factors involved in choosing the right private cloud service provider and leading the enterprise hesitations. ZStack self-innovated a leading private cloud platform, ZStack Cloud with 4 standards. First, simple. ZStack Cloud can allow quick and simple installation and deployment. To complete the installation within 5 minutes and deployment within 10 minutes. Second, strong. ZStack Cloud is the only IaaS software in the market that can fully support reactive program. The next generation high availability secures your data center. Third, scalable. Providing rich RESTful APIs covers the comprehensive functions of ZStack Cloud. Users are flexible to scale up and down the infrastructure to query all resources. Fourth, smart. ZStack enables automatic operation maintenance, support one-click seamless upgrade for new features added, and to fix bugs regularly. Provide clear and simple guidelines on the intelligent UI when it occurs any problems or failures. Additionally, ZStack can provide comprehensive monitoring in real-time situation. User can control the usage of resources via the unified cloud management platform to allocate the resources with intelligence in order to increase cost effectiveness. ZStack empowered every enterprise to have their own cloud.
2021 was an exciting year. We can see that the total number of unicorns, even more than double of the total number in 2019. We also witnessed our valuable customers to become unicorns, and many more are coming to become unicorn in the near future. In 2022, we will commit even more. We will invest millions of dollars to support the local startup ecosystem, to collaborate with VC, incubators, training and association partners to provide knowledge, consultation, and hands-on guidance through your journey of digitalization.
In 2017, we got our first customer in Indonesia, which, as you can see here, was Gojek. They implemented our KYC solution.
Automotive industry, including the after-sales market, is very like traditional, and you can say it's a dinosaurs industry. It's very long.
Toko Crypto established in 2018, and then right now we are the first regulated crypto exchange in Indonesia.
We were talking about the cloud native digitalization.
Depict why they really believe that they can solve the problem that they see in the market, right?
Because it's just the infrastructure readiness is not there yet.
And in local teams, we support our own Indonesia ecosystem. So what are the benefits? So as you can see here, we have 7 different kind of aspect we would like to support.
Me become a solution architect, then you can consult related the architect. Do you want to build on Alibaba Cloud infrastructure?
So in this unlock the full power of cloud, we believe in these 4 pillars, which is our main objectives.
When enterprise is considering private cloud migration, what would be the criteria standard? There is no matter of ethics involved in choosing the right private cloud service provider and leading the enterprise hesitations. ZStack self-innovated a leading private cloud platform, ZStack Cloud with 4 standards. First, simple. ZStack Cloud can allow quick and simple installation and deployment. To complete the installation within 5 minutes and deployment within 10 minutes. Second, strong. ZStack Cloud is the only IaaS software in the market that can fully support reactive program. The next generation high availability secures your data center. Third, scalable. Providing rich RESTful APIs covers the comprehensive functions of ZStack Cloud. Users are flexible to scale up and down the infrastructure to query all resources. Fourth, smart. ZStack enables automatic operation maintenance, support one-click seamless upgrade for new features added, and to fix bugs regularly. Provide clear and simple guidelines on the intelligent UI when it occurs any problems or failures. Additionally, ZStack can provide comprehensive monitoring in real-time situation. User can control the usage of resources via the unified cloud management platform to allocate the resources with intelligence in order to increase cost effectiveness. ZStack empowered every enterprise to have their own cloud.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang Bapak Ibu semua. Kita berjumpa kembali dalam rangkaian kegiatan Hybrid Cloud Week, di mana pada hari ini merupakan hari terakhir dari rangkaian kegiatan yang ada. Saya Alex Budianto dari Asosiasi Cloud Computing Indonesia. Pada kesempatan kali ini akan menjadi pembawa acara dalam kegiatan workshop ini. Pada kesempatan kali ini kita akan membahas mengenai ZStack untuk implementasi hybrid cloud yang mudah dan aman. Nanti akan ada 2 pembicara dari ZStack dan juga dari Alibaba Cloud. Nah, namun sebelum kita mulai, mohon izin untuk saya menyampaikan beberapa informasi terlebih dahulu supaya Bapak Ibu bisa mengikuti kegiatan workshop ini dengan baik. Oke, Bapak Ibu yang mengikuti workshop ini mungkin dari YouTube ataupun kanal streaming yang lain, silahkan untuk menuju ke event.cloudcomputing.id/live. Saya ulangi, ke event.cloudcomputing.id/live, di mana Bapak Ibu nanti akan ada tampilan kurang lebih seperti ini. Nah, Bapak Ibu bisa login menggunakan akun acara seru yang udah Bapak Ibu punyai, atau kalau belum punya akun, silahkan bikin akun terlebih dahulu dengan mengklik link buat akun. Nah, ini asumsinya saya sudah punya akunnya, jadi saya tinggal klik masuk di sini. Oke, ini kalau saya belum terdaftar di kegiatan tersebut, akan ada tampilan kurang lebih seperti ini, di mana ini menyampaikan bahwa saya belum mendaftar gitu ya, saya tinggal klik daftar kegiatan. Oke, nanti akan muncul tampilan seperti ini, di mana Bapak Ibu bisa tinggal play video yang ada di sini untuk mengikuti kegiatan ini, dan kemudian nanti akan ada tombol untuk bergabung ke Microsoft Teams. Nah, buat Bapak Ibu yang ingin bertanya langsung kepada para pembicara nantinya, ingin berkonsultasi secara langsung dan berinteraksi secara langsung, bisa mengklik tombol bergabung ke Microsoft Teams, di mana nanti ini Bapak Ibu akan ada di ruangan yang sama dengan para pembicara, dan Bapak Ibu bisa langsung bertanya menggunakan suara dan seterusnya gitu ya. Jadi silakan apabila ingin bergabung ke Microsoft Teams, langsung klik bergabung ke Microsoft Teams ya. Nah, buat Bapak Ibu yang tetap ingin stay dan mengikuti dari event.cloudcomputing.id/live, silahkan, dan nanti juga tetap masih bisa bertanya kepada para pembicara, ke Ketli atau kepada Mas Roy gitu ya. Silahkan dipilih dari pembicara yang ada, dan kemudian silahkan ketikkan pertanyaan yang ada di sini. Nah, tinggal setelah diketikkan, klik tombol kirim gitu ya. Dan kami nanti akan memilih 5 pertanyaan terbaik yang nanti akan mendapatkan saldo GoPay. Nanti kita akan pilih, dan nanti kami akan kirimkan saldo GoPay-nya di hari Jumat atau di hari Sabtu. Jadi silakan nanti Bapak Ibu bertanya, yang nanti kami akan pilih dari tiap sesi mana pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang terbaik gitu ya. Dan saat ini sudah ada 249 orang yang bergabung dalam platform event.cloudcomputing.id/live. Nah, satu hal lagi, ini yang penting juga ya Bapak Ibu, buat Bapak Ibu yang ingin katakanlah mendapatkan kredit Alibaba Cloud sebesar $1.500, silahkan untuk mengklik link berikut. Ini ada survei dari Alibaba Cloud. Silahkan nanti Bapak Ibu mengisikan nama dan seterusnya gitu ya, dan nanti diperlukan di sini Alibaba Cloud ID. Nah, Bapak Ibu perlu mendaftar dulu di Alibaba Cloud melalui link berikut ini. Dan nanti dari Alibaba akan mempelajari data-data yang diberikan. Apabila nanti Bapak Ibu katakanlah data-datanya benar dan seterusnya, nanti Bapak Ibu akan mempunyai kesempatan untuk mendapatkan kredit Alibaba Cloud sebesar $1.500 atau kurang lebih sekitar 20-an juta ya. Jadi sangat menarik sekali gitu ya. Dan tolong gunakan email perusahaan ya kalau memungkinkan ya, karena ini akan lebih valuable buat rekan-rekan dari Alibaba untuk melakukan verifikasi gitu ya. Dan ya, sekali lagi jangan lupa bagaimana cara ngisi jajak pendapatnya, tinggal klik link yang ada di sini. Ini ya, survey.aliun.com/app/gilao/2RIK dan seterusnya gitu ya. Jadi tinggal klik aja linknya di sini. Oke, berikutnya kita akan langsung saja kita akan mendengarkan paparan dari ZStack, dan karena paparannya bahasa Inggris, mulai sekarang saya akan menggunakan bahasa Inggris ya. Okay, so we have first speaker from ZStack International. The first speaker is Mrs. Kathleen. She is a pre-sales engineer from ZStack International. So I will have discussion first with Mrs. Kathleen. Hello, Mr. Kathleen.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, hello.
Okay, Mrs. Kathleen. Maybe I can I call you Kathleen? Maybe.
Oh, sure, sure,
Okay.
sure, of course.
Kathleen, can you
For the topics today, we would like to introduce the hybrid cloud solutions for the Alibaba Cloud and the ZStack Cloud, as well as some of the technical architecture, like some of the typical scenarios like the database or the backup or the networking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Kathleen, I think this is very interesting topic because we want to know how ZStack to help us to build hybrid cloud solution. So the screen is yours.
Yeah. Thank you. So let me. I have shared the screen, right? Yeah, right. So this is Kate from ZStack, and today I'm going to introduce all the different Alibaba Cloud ZStack hybrid cloud solutions. And at present, the IT infrastructure of the organization from many traditional industry has been extended from private cloud to public cloud one after another. And the trend covers different sectors, including the industrial and manufacturing, or the government, or the healthcare, etc. So in addition, we also see some of the emerging industry like the internet services or the e-commerce or the online gaming or the live streaming, and the businesses of which being initially deployed natively in the public cloud and showing an increased trend adopting the edge computing and the private cloud in different business scenarios. And therefore, the need for the hybrid cloud technology as well as the hybrid cloud-based solution arise accordingly. And ZStack is being a private cloud software solutions provider originated from the Shanghai of China. It works with the Alibaba Cloud to provide the hybrid cloud solutions to the enterprise and the organizations, and helping them to realize the hybrid cloud infrastructure deployment. So, as mentioned, for today's topic, and it will be the Ali Cloud ZStack hybrid cloud overall solutions, as well as the technical architecture of the typical application scenarios. So first of all, the Alibaba ZStack hybrid cloud overall solutions is realized by different technology stack. So let's go through them one by one. So first of all is the network solutions, which is based on the dedicated line or the VPN access solution. And the second is the hybrid cloud storage solutions, which is based on the public cloud NAS storage disaster recovery and the backup. And the third one is the hybrid cloud container solutions, which is based on the ZStack Zaku application hybrid cloud orchestration and the publishing system. And the fourth one is the hybrid cloud typical application scenario solutions, which is based on the predefined application solutions template for the container platform, such as the CI or CD, and the business observation, and the log collection or the monitoring and analysis solutions. And in addition, combined with Alibaba security protection system and ZStack private cloud VN instance can provide a security protection such as the vulnerability scanning and the antivirus through the hybrid cloud network architecture. So moreover, and under the hybrid cloud architecture, and services provided by the internet will receive Alibaba's network egress protection, such as the provision of the domain name hosting and the DDoS protection and the cloud firewall and the backend host. And this allows the private cloud data center to save a lot of security infrastructure investment. And the last one is combined with Alibaba Cloud Massive Storage System and providing NAS and object storage capability. And it is very flexible to back up the VM instance of the ZStack private cloud and to the Alibaba Cloud, and subsequently to provide the business recovery from the backup to realize the hybrid cloud disaster recovery, as well as the business platform in the public cloud. So next one, let me go into the details to introduce the Alibaba Hybrid Cloud Network Solutions. So in this scenario, ZStack Private Cloud is deployed in a self-built data center or the third-party MSP host server room. And at present, many career ISPs support building egress network in the self-built data center based on the Internet Egress Network. And in addition, the SD-WAN providers provide a flexible Alibaba dedicated line access solution to achieve the hybrid cloud network architecture. So alternatively, the same hybrid cloud network architecture can be achieved using a third-party MSP host server room by a high-quality dedicated network connecting to Alibaba Express Connect. And it is more important to note that a hybrid cloud network based on the Alibaba Cloud Express Connect requires setting up a routing information to complete the two-way access path. And by implementing the ZStack and the Alibaba Cloud Hybrid Cloud solutions and through a dedicated line, the interconnectivity of the VPC network services of the two data centers are realized, and the VM instances of the private cloud and the public cloud can be realized a bidirectional access to each other. And this diagram here explains the logical workflow setting up the hybrid cloud dedicated line. And all of you may be curious about how you can apply the Express Connect and a dedicated line on the Alibaba Cloud. So if you are communicating directly with Alibaba Cloud, and you can submit an application through the Alibaba Cloud Console work order system. And after you submit the application, an engineer will process it and complete the construction of the dedicated line. And the connection according to the network architecture of the telecom operator. And alternatively, if the ZStack private cloud is in an MSP data center, and then you only need to apply to the MSP, which will communicate with Alibaba Cloud and to place a work order to complete the hybrid cloud network dedicated line opening. So the next part, we will introduce the hybrid cloud network architecture solution implemented on the internet. Using a mature VPN method, we can use the IP set to build a site-to-site data channel and to implement an encrypted data transmission at both ends of the VPN. The VPC network services provided by the ZStack private cloud support the VPN IPsec tunnel, and according to the configuration information required for the IPsec establishment, and it is also configured on the VPN gateway under the Alibaba VPC network. And the same encryption algorithm and the negotiation information are configured, and the VPN gateway will enable the successful setup of the encrypted tunnel network. And once the ZStack private cloud VPN and the Alibaba VPN gateway IPsec tunnel is established, and the VM instance on two cloud computing platforms can be achieved a two-way communication. And it is important to note that it is the best practice to configure the matching network bandwidth according to the business needs of the egress network bandwidth of the two data centers. Because, for example, if ZStack private cloud network egress is 100 Mbps per second, and the VPN bandwidth purchased on the Alibaba Cloud is also 100 Mbps per second, and the IPsec tunnel transmission bandwidth can be close to this value. However, if the ZStack private cloud network egress is configured at 100 Mbps per second, and the VPN bandwidth purchased on the Alibaba cloud is 200 Mbps per second, the IPsec tunnel transfer can only be done at 100 Mbps per second because of the network communication requirement. So for purchasing or opening the right network bandwidth is very helpful for the cost saving as well as the hybrid cloud network establishment. So for the next part is the Alibaba hybrid cloud storage solutions. So let me first share with you some of the background knowledge. Alibaba hybrid cloud storage is a traditional disk array based on the implementation of an hybrid cloud storage system. And this storage system provides different network access models, including the sandbox storage, file storage, and the object storage. And among these, the SAN storage supports the FC and the IceGAS, and the file storage supports the NFS and the CIFS. And lastly, the object storage supports the OSS. And the primary of the ZStack private cloud can support the Alibaba hybrid cloud storage system. And the ZStack primary storage module can be connected to IceGAS or the FC, and so that the data of the ZStack VM can be stored on the Alibaba hybrid cloud storage. And in addition, Alibaba hybrid cloud storage supports the synchronization to the Alibaba Cloud OSS, and which can transfer the data of the ZStack private cloud backup services to the Alibaba Cloud OSS, and which is implemented by the backend of the storage pool, and it is transparent to the data stored in the upper layer. And next, let's explain the ZStack and the Alibaba hybrid cloud security solutions. And Alibaba public clouds provide the rich security solutions with different latitudes, providing many security services like the internet egress access on the network, such as the instruction detection and the DDoS protection and the SSL certificate hosting. And inside the VPC, it can achieve the features like the bastion host and the database audit and the sensitive data protection, as well as the VM security agent vulnerability scan and the update services. And under the hybrid cloud network architecture and ZStack private cloud data centers are no longer need to worry too much about the network egress security protection. And as the hybrid cloud network realized through the dedicated line can protect the network from the exposure to the internet environment. And on the other hand, and through the hybrid cloud network realized by the Internet VPN, the data access between the private cloud and the public cloud can be also encrypted and protected, and so as to prevent the interception and the acquisition from the intermediate device. And the next part, we are going to introduce the Alibaba Cloud Disaster Recovery Solutions. And there is a massive storage space on the Alibaba Cloud public cloud, including the NAS storage and the OSS storage. And with the Alibaba Cloud's massive storage space and its pay-as-you-go model, the backup of the business critical VM instances from the ZStack private cloud to NAS storage can be achieved. And the backup task and the plan can be achieved by ZStack private cloud backup functions, which can back up the VM instance to Alibaba Cloud remotely. And the next part is the technical architecture for the typical scenario. And this scenario is a very good reference for the MSP and the customer to deploy the Alibaba ZStack hybrid cloud architecture. And different architectural bottlenecks were encountered in this scenario when the businesses were running in the production environment, and the solutions were obtained through the different perspective and the application of the ZStack of the hybrid cloud architecture. So let's look at the private cloud scenario and the fact of the ad hoc projects going online where the resources are not adequately prepared. You can temporarily use the Alibaba public cloud to deploy the resources needed. And with the continuous development of the enterprises, and there's rising demand of the resources for their businesses. And in particular, when the resources demand pattern of some businesses is elastic, and you can use the hybrid cloud structure formed by the Alibaba Cloud and the enterprise to divert some of the traffic to the Alibaba Cloud. And for example, there are times where the enterprises conduct certain online promotional campaigns, and during which a large number of the cloud computing resources has to be prepared in a very short period of time. Enterprises can then leverage Alibaba Cloud's to scale up and provide sufficient resources using its pay-as-you-go model. And when the promotional activities has been completed and the demand of the cloud computing resources goes down, can release the resources and scale down. And the hybrid cloud architecture thus is very suitable to cater this kind of scenario with the sudden increase and the decrease of the demand of cloud computing resources. And so, ZStack and the Alibaba Cloud hybrid cloud solutions can also be used in the interconnect different branches through the Alibaba Public Cloud VPN gateway, which is not limited to establishing tunnel with single private cloud, but also tunnel connection with the multi-private cloud. And this showcased the use of public cloud as the central architecture to connect the different branches. And at the same time, when combined with ZStack CMP product, it can support the multi-cloud management. And even if there are multiple private clouds, they can be managed in a unified manner. And next, we are going to introduce the way to host the database near you and apply it on the cloud. And in the organization, already has a large database, and such as the Oracle DB2, and it may have many concerns directly migrating the database to Alibaba Cloud. And for example, there could be data risk or some function may not yet been verified. And in such case, you can keep the database in your own data center, and you can use the elastic bare metal function of the ZStack private cloud to achieve the deployment of the database cluster. And the ZStack private cloud supports the elastic bare metal function, and for the bare metal instances, it supports the elastic volume and the VPC network, and so it can directly adopt the hybrid cloud network solutions to realize communication between the bare metal instances and the cloud services in the Alibaba Cloud VPC. And the database and the log management are retained and in the private cloud data center. And while the application platforms, front-end website, and the in-memory database, etc., can be deployed on the Alibaba public cloud to take the advantage of the different infrastructures. And next, let's talk about the big data scenario. And we know that some of the company or the organizations are now very concerned about the data management of the daily operations, including the sales data or the equipment operation data, or even the campus access or the warehouse monitoring. And it will be ideal if all the data can be saved and retained. And this is a new way of thinking to do the operation management, and where the data is everything, and everything is interpreted using the data. And at the same time, we also found that it is very difficult for enterprises or the organization to save such a large amount of the data for subsequent analysis. And there are concerns like how to store the huge amount of the data or which big data processing platform to use. And based on the ZStack Ali and the Alibaba Cloud Hybrid Cloud solution, after the hybrid cloud network is built, the data that needs to be saved or analyzed can be uploaded to the Alibaba Cloud, and the data can be saved through the high-capacity NAS and the OSS services. And then the data can be processed by the algorithm through the Alibaba or mass compute. And this is a new approach based on the hybrid cloud solutions to achieve the long-term data preservation as well as the real-time data analysis. So this will be the architecture and the scenario that I would like to present today. And now move on to the demonstration part. And here I have the graph showing the demonstration architecture that I have built in the environment in my Hong Kong's office, as well as the Alibaba Cloud. And we have set up two cloud in both ZStack and Alibaba Cloud. And in ZStack, we have built the environment in our office, and the Alibaba Cloud, we have chosen the Hong Kong region to build a VPC environment. And then in the ZStack, we have built a and installed a WordPress and put it into a VPC rerouter. And in our environment, we have a firewall to control the network in the Hong Kong office. And in this case, we have set two NAT policy. One is the UDP 500, and the next one is the UDP 4500 to forward the traffic to the VPC. And to let the Alibaba Cloud Gateway to access to the firewall IP address as well as the VPC. And Alibaba VPN also have the public IP, which our firewall could access to. So access to the Nginx proxy in the Alibaba Cloud. And so the data press instance, if it enables the user directly access to the private cloud instance, you may have to set up lots of security protection. And in the public cloud, it will be better to put the VM instance because they have a better security policy that you can set in the Alibaba Cloud Security Center. So we have put a VM instance with a low specification and install the Nginx proxy, and then the data from the public cloud network can be transmitted to the private cloud through the Nginx proxy, and the data is encrypted, and we only need to bind the network services from into the VM. And once you have bind the security services from the Alibaba Cloud, you can enable it to the VM that we have added into the Alibaba Cloud. So let's move on to the real demonstration. Let me share another screen. Another screen here. So we'll have another screen here showing the ZStack private cloud. So here is our portal, and then we log into our portal. We log into That's right. So as you can see here, it will be our dashboard, shows the information like the VM instance, the status of the VM instance, as well as some of the resources like the CPU and the memory. And below here, you can also see the I/O performance of the disk and the network. And for these pages, you can select different zone, but because in this environment, I have only set one zone here, but in here, you can select the current zone or the older zone. And also, we can customize the dashboard here. You can select which information that you would like to show on the dashboard. Like here will be the primary storage utilization, etc. So the next part is the hardware resources. And for the hardware, first of all, is the computing. That is your host. And we have separated into 3 hierarchy. First of all is the zone. And under the zone, we have cluster. And in the cluster, click into the cluster, we will have several basic info like the architecture and the migration network, as well as the model and the compute resources for this cluster. And also we can click it here, and this is the associated resources that we put into this cluster. And here we will have several VM instance in host at this cluster 1. And in cluster 1, we have 2 hosts here. And we can also see the primary storage mount in this cluster. And for the below part is the devices like the physical NIC and also the GPU device and the USB device. And below the last hierarchy is the host, that is the server that you put into this private cloud platform. And click into the host, we can see here is some of the basic info like the hypervisor and the CPU type. And here also you can see the compute resources as the same as the cluster. And this one is for the host. You can see there's a core host in here. And the same as the cluster, we also have the associated resources here, such as the VM instance put into this host, as well as the VPC router and the vGPU here, as well as other devices of the host 1. And the next one is the storage facilities. It will have the primary storage here. And in the ZStack cloud platform, we support certain kind of the primary storage type, such as the storage, local storage and the NFS. And here you can see another one is the Aliyun NAS and the Aliyun EBS. So you can just add the primary storage here and just click into it. We also can see different basic info and the storage usage statistic. We also, the same as the host, we have different associated resources here. And we also got the alarm just to make sure that there's no the extreme case happened in this primary storage. We can check all the alarm here. And also we got the advanced setting for different the primary storage. And apart from the primary storage, we will have the backup storage here. And for the backup storage, we have set here is for the store of the image. And you can see here is the same. There's some of the basic info of this backup storage. And here we can see all the image stored in the backup storage as well. This is the system image and the volume image. And here we got the rerouter image. It's also stored in here. And as mentioned in the presentation stack, we also support the iSCSI storage as well as the FC storage. And for the next part is the resources pool, which is we have the virtual resources. First of all is the VM instance that you can create as the VM instance according to your needs. So like here, we can click into one of the VM instance. We will have basic info like the instant offering here, the CPU and the memory, and the platform and the OS. As well as underneath here, we have the instant offering that we have chosen to build this VM and the image that we installed in this VM instance. Also, the network resources that we used in this VM instance. And the platform information like this VM is put under the cluster 1 and the current host and the last host, because we can do the migration in the action here. We can migrate to change the host and storage here. And then we also can support the snapshot for the VM instance to support the root volume and the data volume and the memory. Also support the single snapshot or the snapshot group. And here the same, we have the configuration info. We are here in this VM, we have a root disk for this VM. We also attached a NIC card in here. You can see the information. And we also have certain kind of scheduled job and the backup data and the CDP data. And this is related to another module that we will talk about it later. It's the backup module. We support the backup of the VM instance and the CDP data. And the next part is the volume. And you can see all the volume used in the VM instance. This is the data disk that in the VM instance. So you click here, we also got certain kind of information as well as the snapshot, because I've just mentioned we can do the snapshot for the volume. And the next part is the compute configuration. As mentioned in the backup storage, we will store all the image in the backup storage. And underneath here, we have all the image that I have put into this environment. Like here, we click into it, we will have the overview of the image, like the image format is QCOW2 we have used, and the bio mode. And click into it, we can see that for the image, we support certain kind of the image, such as the system and the volume image, as well as the image format. We support 4 kinds of format. And also the architecture, we support also the 4 kind architecture. And we can set the platform here, and the operating system here. And we also support 2 kinds of method to upload the image. First of all is the URL, and the second one is the local file. And for the next part is the instant offering, which is the configuration that you preset for creating the VM instance. And inside here, you can set the CPU and the memory. Here you can set for if you like to create a VM instance with 4 core and 8 GB. So you can click it here and set the instant offering, and also select the host allocation strategy with different policy we have preset here. And we also can set the bandwidth and the IOPS to limit the bandwidth for the user usage. So click into it, there will be some basic info here, the limitation on the bandwidth and the IOPS. And similar to the instant offering, we will have the disk offering to preset the disk size of the disk, and click into the creation of the disk offering. We can create the disk size of this, and we can also set the disk bandwidth and the disk IOPS for this one. So yeah, so it's the same. It will have the basic information and the configuration here. And in ZStack Cloud Platform, we also support the GPU specification. Like in here, if you have the physical GPU, will shown in here. And we also support the cut of the physical GPU into the vGPU, and you can do the modification here. And here is the computing resources. And after that, we will have some of the resources service, like the auto scaling group here, and snapshot I've talked about in the VM instance. We support the snapshot. You can see all the snapshot here, and we'll separate it into the VM instance view. So you can see this VM is called v2v and hyphen and window 10. We have a snapshot here, and here we can create an VM instance using this snapshot. And we also support the affinity group. So apart from the resources, it will be the network resources. And we support the L2 network resources and the L3 network resources. In here, for the L2 network, we support 4 types of the network, such as the L2 node VLAN network, and the VXLAN network, and the L2 VLAN network, and the hardware VXLAN network. So this will be some of the L2 network functions that we can modify here. We can choose the re-switch type and enable the SRIOV. Click into the L2 network. We can have some of the basic info here, the NIC card here. And then for the L3 network here, we can see that there is some of the L3 network attached into this L2 network. Here's one of the public network, and here's one of the VPC network. And we also support the VXLAN pool. And for the L3 network resources, I'll have here is the public network. You can see all the basic info here, the seeder here, and the network services that you can use in this public network, and also the IP statistic, which the IP address that used by the platform. And you can see here 169 is used as the VM instance. And here is the network range. You can add the network range. If you have insufficient network range here, you can add the network range without affecting the environment. Also, we can add the DNS. And here is the flat network, which is similar to the public network. And here is the VPC network. So we have a VPC network here. We have similar interface like the public network. So I just go over it briefly. So in here, we will have the VPC router. We create a VPC router and create the VPC network. And in this VPC router, we use a VM instance to do this. And we will have the offering like in this router, it is 2 CPU and 2 gig memory. And click into it, we have the similar interface like the network resources here. And also we will have to upload the rerouter image onto it. So here is one of the rerouter image that I upload onto the cloud platform. Yeah, here. So here is the offering that I've mentioned. We need to set up we need to preset the offering for the VPC rerouter. So here's the network resources. Now move on to the network services. And here is some of the basic network services like the security group and the VIP here and the EIP here. And also we support the port forwarding and the load balancing. And for the advanced network services, we will have the firewall and the IPsec tunnel. This IPsec tunnel is the connection between the ZStack cloud and the Alibaba cloud that we have set it. So we will next in the hybrid cloud management, we will look into it. And we also support another advanced feature like the route table and the port mirroring. And now move on to the important part of today's session, which is the hybrid cloud management. In the ZStack cloud, we have a module called hybrid cloud management. And in here, you can see we can see the information like the ECS instance here that we deployed in the Alibaba cloud. And in here, first of all, we need to add the access key here. Then after synchronize the data, we will have all the information here. And for today's demonstration environment, I have set a VPN gateway in the Alibaba cloud, as well as the customer gateway here. And then we have done a VPN connection between the ZStack cloud and the Alibaba cloud. So therefore, in the network resources, it's the network services. We will have the IPsec tunnel here to showcase the connection. So, as mentioned in the PowerPoint deck, I have prepared a WordPress instances here and here is the Nginx instance here, and because we have done the IPsec tunnel, So in this case, I can turn on the repress instance, and then we look into the ECS instance. The private IP will be 110 and 0 and 0 and 60, and I just ping. I can ping the 060. Then you can see that the connection between the ZStack cloud and the Alibaba cloud is successful here. And also for the Nginx proxy services, you can see that the public IP here, you can use this public IP to get access to the WordPress instances in the ZStack cloud. Just click it here to see that, right? So you can just use the Alibaba public IP to access to the VM instance in the ZStack private cloud. And I also want to mention about the security features first before we move on to another module, because we believe that the security module in the Alibaba cloud has more features than the private cloud, so that in this case we have put our WordPress instances, which is the 124 in here. You can see this is the 124 VM instance. We have put it here and enable the security features, like in here. You can see the information like the CPU here, and also enable some of the security features like the self-protection and the virus blocking here. And we also can get the alarm of the risk status here. So that will be the hybrid cloud module. And afterward, we also have different kinds of module here. So let's move on to the vCenter module here. And we believe that some of our client is using the vCenter and would like to seek for another alternatives. So in this case, we have a vCenter module and allows the users to add the vCenter here and take over the vCenter in the ZStack cloud. And in this environment, we have add free vCenter. In here, we have some of the information like the associated resources here, and we have the cluster, and we have the primary storage used in this vCenter, and the backup storage, and the host that we add into this vCenter, and also the resources. And afterwards, we have the VM instance page to see all the VM instance that you deployed in the vCenter. So as is here, we can click into it. We can have the related information and the associated resources, just like the ZStack cloud did. And also the network resources and the volume here and the image here. And this one is not the same enter one. You have to upload the image here, then it will store in the data store, the backup storage data store, and then after you have add the image into the here, you can create the image VM instance in this portal for the vCenter. And afterwards will be, here is the network topology, because this one is the test environment. So you can see that the network topology is quite simple. But if you are a production environment, the networking will be quite complicated. That's why in here we will have visualized the network resources here, so that you can see, drag and drop to see the VPC in here. You can see we have connected to free VM instance, and move to here, you can have some simple information. Right. So, and here we will have another module called backup management, as mentioned before. And we support the local backup server here, as well as the remote backup server. And here you can see that we support the remote backup and the Alibaba Cloud Backup here. So for this module, we support the basic backup of the VM instance and the CDP. And first of all, look into the backup job. We will have the overviews of your backup job here. We have some of the details about the VM instance that you backup and the execution time, and also the backup statistic here. And for the next one is the backup job that you create to back up the VM instance, and then click into, just click into it. We can have some of the basic info, and for the backup job, we support different kinds of the backup policy, like the incremental backup and the full backup. Also, we also got the backup cycle. If you want to back up the VM instance like every day at the 9 o'clock, and also got the data retention policy that you can set. And here is some of the backup resources. And here is the job record. I can show it here. And here you see that we have done several backup jobs here, like in the 17th of August, we have the incremental backup. And yes, and in here we also got another features like here is the local backup data, and you can see it is separated into the backup data and the VM instance, because I only have done one backup job, so you only see one VM instance here. And we can see the backup data here, and you can use the backup data here to restore the VM instance. Click into it, and because I have deleted the VM instance into the resources pool, so in this area you can only choose to create the new resources. But if you still have your VM instance in your resources pool, you can overwrite the original resources and also choose the instant offering and also other information. Then you can restore the VM instance. And apart from the basic backup services, we also have the CDP services. In here, we got the dashboard. We have the status of some of the CDP tasks and the recovery task, and also the I/O performance of the CPU and the memory. And click into it, we have a task that done before, and click into it, we have some basic information. And as the same as the basic backup services, we also can set up different kinds of policy, like the recovery point interval. We'll have the recovery point every 1 minute, and as well as other information. And you also can set the amount of data that we would like to retain in the backup data. So here we will have the backup data to see here. And here is the same as the local backup data above here. We will separate it into the VM instance view and the overview. And here we'll have done the CTP job for the V2V real-time VM instance. You can have the details of the CTP job that you had done in here. So here is the recovery task. After you have done the CBT task, you can recover the CDP VM instance. In here, you can create a recovery task. And the next one is the tag management. You can create some of the tag for your VM instance, because we believe that if you are in a production environment, the VM instance may be a lot. So you can create a tag to categorize the VM instance that you have used. And then for the migration services, as mentioned in the recenter module, some of our users would like to seek for the alternative from the VMware to another private cloud solutions. And after we have taken over the vCenter, we can do the V2V migration from the VMware or other third-party hypervisor platform to ZStack Cloud. And here we can set the conversion host first. And we have separated into two kinds of conversion hosts according to the hypervisor. Like the first one is the type is the VMware, and the second one is the KVM type. And after that, you can create the V2V job. So I click into a successful one, and here you can have the basic info. You can choose the source VM. In this is the migration. It will be from the VMware, and in the Song one, and the primary storage is from the data store one, and the destination VM will be put in the Song one, with the primary storage one and cluster one. So apart from the enterprise management, we also have the enterprise management, because our client would like to seek for the hierarchy of the organization, because they would like to limit on the permission. First of all, we'll have the role here. We can create certain kind of role here. We have testing to show here. And in this module, we will have the platform role and the project role here. And in here, we can click into the UI. In here, we can see that we can set the permission for all of the functions that you will use in the ZStack Cloud platform. And you can choose, if you don't want your colleagues to access to the hardware, you can untick here. And next to review it. So this is the role, and click into it. We can have some of the overview. And here is the UI permission that I have shown just before. And we can also limit the API permission for them. So after creating the role, you will have to create a project here, because some of the company will have a shared project that includes different kinds of different users. So after you have created a project, like I create a project called today's webinar, webinar BINAR. So you have the configuration here. We can set the song here. Yeah, we also can set the quota for this project, like because of our customer, the resources for them are not unlimited, so we have to limit the resources for them. Otherwise, they will use up so many resources it will lead to insufficient resources for another project. So after create a project, we'll have to assign the user here, because one project may include different kinds of user. And for each user, we will assign different role to them, so that we can limit the permission for them to access to the project resources. And in the organization, we also can set the resources quota for them, so that they won't use up the same. Don't use up lots of resources here. So, and also we also got the setting here. We support certain kind of global setting, but it's quite complicated. We will not look into it deeply. Just showing that we have lots of advanced setting that we can set it here. And then for this one, you can see that we can change the theme and the appearances. So for the theme, we have some of the preset color code. And here we got 8 of them. And for the title, we can also change the title to the one you would like to include in this platform. And here we can also change the interface, login interface, and the platform interface. And apart from here, we also have the license management here. You can see all the license information, like is the upper one is the basics license. Here you can see the license CPU, we have 40, and we have used sub 2 CPU. And also we can see the version here. And underneath here, we can have the management IP here. And this environment, I have built a high availability environment, so that will be true management IP. But we won't use the management IP to get access to the management portal. We will use a VIP. So if the VIP will put in one of the management node, and if one management node shut down, it will shift to another management node. So yes, and here we will have the username and the issue date. And underneath here, we will have the base plus license that I have talked about. That is the VM management and the enterprise management. And underneath here, we have the Alibaba Hybrid Cloud management. So the last one I would like to show is the big monitor. Because we see that some of the data center, they will have a monitor outside the data center. That's why we have created a big monitor to showcase the real-time monitoring statistic, like the CPU utilization, as well as the major resources overview. And in here, you can change it to KVM, from KVM to vCenter to see the resources in the vCenter. And you can also change the zone here. So that will be for today's demonstration. Yes. So now I think should be the sharing of the Alibaba Cloud, right?
Hi, sorry, I have problem with my camera. Okay, thank you, Kate, for your great presentation. Yeah, and yeah, this is a very good presentation showing that ZStack capabilities to build. I think not just a hybrid cloud, but also a private cloud. Yeah, because you start from your private infrastructure first, and then you set up to have connection to Alibaba public cloud. So I think you can start with a private cloud, and then you can configure with, to connect with Alibaba cloud, or other public cloud. Yeah, is it correct, Kate?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I want to ask to Pak Roy. Pak Roy, do you want to do a presentation, or we just have discussion, Pak Roy?
I think we better to have a discussion, because our material is actually already covered by Kate also. So for both ZStack and
Alibaba Cloud has been shown in the slide as well as in the demo session.
Okay, Pak Roy, can you turn on your camera, Pak Roy?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
One second.
Okay.
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 Second.
Sorry. Thank you for the presentation. So we already have knowledge about what ZStack can do. We can start from our private cloud. We can build our private cloud first, and then from there we can connect to another cloud, another cloud. As a sample, Kate already demonstrate how ZStack have connection or conversation with Alibaba public cloud. Okay, so I think Pak Roy, from your perspective, Pak Roy, when we are talking about last session we talking about health sector, Pak Roy, and then before that we talking about financial sector, and in the second day we talking about industrial sector. Yeah, and as far as I know, Pak, in my perspective, yeah, financial sector, I think many players in this sector still in private cloud. I think, yeah, most of them still in private cloud. And then health sector, I think most of them already are still in private cloud. In your perspective, Pak Roy, what is the benefit of moving or collaborate with public cloud, Pak Roy? Because the industry should know what is the benefit, because they already have a private cloud in their digital infrastructure. What is the reason to moving to hybrid cloud, Pak Roy?
Okay. I answer in bahasa ya. I think because most of the audience is come from Indonesia. Oke, terima kasih Pak Alex pertanyaannya. Jadi pertanyaannya adalah apa sih benefitnya? Kenapa mereka harus move dari private cloud ke public cloud? Atau kita bisa pakai dua-duanya antara public cloud dengan private cloud, which is kita mengenal sebagai hybrid cloud. Pertama, kenapa gitu ya? Salah satu alasannya adalah pada saat kita menggunakan private cloud, di situ biasanya ada limitasi. Biasanya limitasi karena faktor keterbaruan teknologi, atau bahkan kalau kita lihat dari sisi storage. Biasanya kalau kita masih menggunakan private cloud atau on-prem, ini ada kecenderungan storage yang jumlahnya terbatas. Padahal kalau aplikasi kita itu diakses oleh publik, seringkali kita tidak bisa mengkontrol berapa data yang akan masuk ke aplikasi kita. Apalagi nanti kalau upload dokumen-dokumen yang besar, misalkan PDF atau video, atau bahkan video gitu ya. Kalau kapasitas storage-nya yang dipakai oleh server kita penuh, ini bisa impact ke availability dari aplikasi kita, bahkan bisa sampai down. Itu satu. Yang kedua, benefit dengan mengkombinasikan antara private dan public cloud dengan hybrid cloud, kita mendapatkan beberapa benefit dari yang ditawarkan oleh public cloud. Apa aja? Pertama, dari sisi cost. Public cloud memberikan cost yang lebih efisien. Kenapa efisien? Karena public cloud itu pay as you go. Kita hanya perlu bayar sesuai yang kita butuhkan. Artinya apa? Dengan mengkombinasikan keduanya, pada saat misalkan traffic di aplikasi kita lagi tinggi, kita bisa memisahkan nih aplikasi yang public facing, kita bisa put di public cloud. Misalkan dia hanya temporary, kita hanya perlu bayar dengan campaign, misalkan kita punya campaign, dengan campaign itu, sementara core-nya masih bisa kita letakkan di private cloud. Kita mendapat benefit dari skalabilitas yang diberikan oleh public cloud. Di sisi lain kita tetap bisa maintain data-data kita yang sensitif ada di private cloud kita. Itu dari sisi cost. Kemudian dari sisi security, public cloud menawarkan berbagai macam fitur terkait dengan security, mulai dari network layer, application layer, bahkan host layer. Ini memberikan kita benefit kalau misalkan aplikasi kita public facing lagi, di mana aplikasi yang fronting ke customer kita put di public cloud. Kita put dan kita lengkapi dengan semua fitur security yang ada di situ. Sehingga kalau terjadi sesuatu, bisa difilter terlebih dahulu di public cloud ini. Kemudian kita konekkan ke private cloud kita, di mana bisa jadi core-nya dari situ. Dan benefit-benefit lain, Mas Alex, yang bisa kita explore kalau kita mengadopsi public cloud yang dikombinasikan dengan private cloud.
Baik, terima kasih Mas Roy. Jadi tadi Mas Roy menjelaskan banyak benefit yang ada ya. Jadi kalau kita katakanlah bicara mengenai scalability gitu ya tadi Mas Roy ya, kalau kita katakanlah storage-nya kebatas daripada kita mungkin pengadaannya lama gitu ya. Nah, mungkin kita bisa extend to public cloud gitu ya. Ataupun tadi juga Mas Roy meng-highlight security. Jadi public facing-nya bisa pakai public cloud. Tapi nanti di dalamnya ternyata nanti koneksi ke private cloud kita gitu ya. Nah, nanti terkait sama filter, security dan sebagainya bisa menggunakan apa yang ada di public cloud tersebut gitu. Nah, oke, Mas Roy, menarik sekali Mas Roy. Nah, Mas Roy, terkait tadi Mas Roy, kalau misalnya kita ngomong private cloud, public cloud, ini yang sering jadi isu itu kan sebenarnya kalau kita di Indonesia kan selalu ya koneksi internet gitu ya. Karena kalau kita ngomong koneksi internet dari private cloud kita ke public cloud kita, itu seringkali yang jadi masalah adalah kualitas koneksi ataupun lebar bandwidth-nya gitu. Nah, bagaimana Mas Roy hal ini katakanlah bisa ini ya katakanlah bisa ditanggulangi gitu. Jangan sampai kita pakai hybrid cloud mengkoneksikan antara public ke private kita ternyata malah latensinya malah semakin tidak baik gitu ya. Nah, Mas Roy, kayak gini pertanyaan common yang sering ditanyakan oleh para ini ya para orang-orang IT gitu ya. Nah, bagaimana Mas Roy menjawab pertanyaan ini Mas Roy?
Oke, jadi terkait dengan keterbatasan networking antara on-premise kita dengan apa namanya dengan public cloud gitu ya. Sebenarnya ada beberapa solusi atau skenario yang bisa kita terapkan. Kalau misalkan terkait dengan network dan daerah tempat kita atau data center kita sudah terhubung dengan ISP, ada dua skenario. Kita bisa menggunakan public network, tapi kalau misalkan kita butuh yang lebih cepat nih, lebih powerful, lebih stable. Nah, di Alibaba Cloud itu kita punya namanya Express Connect, di mana nanti koneksi antara cloud dengan on-prem itu akan melalui dedicated line, sehingga secara performance, secara stabilitas akan lebih baik. Namun jika daerah apa namanya, jika memang data center kita, on-prem kita berada di lokasi yang memang tidak memungkinkan secara networking gitu ya. Ini kita masih bisa menggunakan hybrid cloud, tetapi mungkin skenario-nya lebih terbatas gitu ya. Hybrid cloud tidak selalu mengharuskan untuk melakukan real time replication. Bisa jadi kita melakukan batching. Jadi day to day activity. Saya ambil contoh misalkan rumah sakit gitu ya, yang ada di daerah 3T gitu kan. Daily operation-nya tetap menggunakan workload yang ada di on-prem nih, server-server yang ada di rumah sakit tersebut. Tetapi nanti kita bisa atur jadwal, misalkan setiap malam atau setiap berapa hari sekali kita bisa melakukan replikasi dari rumah sakit ini ke cloud. Tujuannya apa? Replikasi ini lebih bertujuan ke arah backup atau DR solution. Jadi nanti jika misalkan biasanya di daerah tertentu kan secara kelistrikan tidak stabil ya. Listrik yang tidak stabil pada akhirnya bisa memberikan potensi ke kerusakan hardware gitu ya. Server sering mati mendadak, disknya bisa korup gitu ya. Nah, kalau ini terjadi, setidaknya kita masih punya backup di remote backup. Dan ini nanti kalau mau di restore dan kita butuh cepat, kita bisa melakukan restorasi di public cloud. Itu salah satu skenario. Tentunya banyak skenario yang bisa kita gunakan dengan melihat keterbatasan dari sisi network yang ada di customer side.
Baik, terima kasih Mas Roy. Jadi ya kalau latensi tadi sebenarnya no issue gitu ya, karena tadi ada namanya Express Connect ya Mas Roy ya, yang katakanlah untuk membantu mempercepat routing dari network kita supaya mempunyai performa yang terbaik. Tapi ini perlu berdiskusi sama ISP yang kita pakai Mas Roy ya. Jadi nanti kalau pakai Telkom ya ngomongnya sama Telkom, kalau pakai yang lain juga ngomongnya sama yang lain gitu. Jadi ada layanan Express Connect dari Alibaba yang bisa dipakai untuk mengimprove latensi gitu, sehingga performa network kita bisa menjadi baik. Dan tadi juga Mas Roy menyampaikan beberapa use case skenario yang dimungkinkan gitu ya, katakanlah kita bisa pakai jadi DRC dan seterusnya, atau mungkin bisa jadi skenario failover juga. Jadi kalau satu down, nanti mungkin yang public yang up gitu ya. Jadi mungkin dan seterusnya gitu. Jadi mungkin nanti sangat banyak use case yang mungkin bisa dipikirkan gitu. Karena kalau kita hanya punya private cloud saja gitu ya, hanya punya mungkin satu data center saja, itu bisa jadi single point of failure gitu ya. Jadi entah nanti ada gangguan apa di data center itu semuanya bisa terganggu gitu. Tapi kalau kita punya file over ke yang lain, ke public cloud dan seterusnya, maka bisa paling tidak uptime kita bisa jauh lebih bagus. Oke, terima kasih Mas Roy. So we are moving to answer the question from the audience. So I will read the question from the audience, and then Kate, you can answer the question. Yeah. Okay, so I will look first in the platform. Yeah, currently we have 6 questions from about 400 people that joining with event.codecomputing.id/live. Okay, so I will read the question. The first question is from Mr. Denny Rizka Ariesta. He is IT staff from Wisma Kartika. I will read the question, and then Kate, you will answer. Yeah. So this is the question regarding the hybrid cloud concept that can be provided by ZStack and Alibaba Cloud. Is it possible to combine it with existing cloud provider in the company, as well as for the implementation itself requires special configuration or not? Kate, how you answer the question from Mr. Denia? Please, Kate.
For the configuration, I believe we have to do the connection between the cloud, both private cloud and the public cloud. But for the detail, I think Star, my telecom manager, will have the details explanation regarding this. So Star, maybe you can show your opinions regarding this question.
Yes. Oh yeah. Is it possible to combine it with another cloud providers? If possible, it requires a special configuration or not? Because you are in the demo, you are doing configuration to Alibaba Cloud. How if you are configured to another cloud platform, as example maybe Google, AWS, or others? Is it need a special configuration?
I think the same as the connecting with the Alibaba Cloud, we have to set up the IPsec tunnel and break out the connection between the cloud and the ZStack cloud. So after we have the connection, we have the we can ping another VM instance in another cloud.
Okay, so the answer is almost same with the Alibaba Cloud. Yeah. Kit, we need to install special plugin, or it's already in there. If you want to configure with another cloud platform.
For the ZStack cloud, we have the IPsec tunnel function that I have shown case before. But for another platform, we have to see the setting of the platform to see how we can set up the IPsec tunnel for the connection between the other public cloud and ourselves.
Okay, thank you, Kit. Okay, so I will read the second question. This is same question from Mr. Denny Rizky. The question is, it was explained earlier that Alibaba Cloud allow users to customize the required specification for their own for their own time. Does it take a long time if in the future there is a need to scale up or scale out? How about the time if you want to scale up or scale out, Kate?
I believe should be very fast because in the Alibaba Cloud, we only need to apply for the ECS instance to scale up and down. If you would like to scale up, just apply for the ECS instance. I think should be quite fast in that platform. So, yeah.
Okay, so second ya, in second maybe ya.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Oke.
Ya, menambahkan kalau dari sisi Alibaba Cloud ya, kita bisa melakukan scaling ya. Scaling ada dua, horizontal scaling dan vertical scaling. Just in case kalau kita membutuhkan untuk melakukan vertical scaling, di mana kita menambahkan atau mengurangi spesifikasi dari server yang kita miliki. Ini bisa dilakukan kapan saja. Kita customer sebagai account owner punya privilege untuk itu tanpa harus melakukan special request ke Alibaba Cloud. Dan ini bisa dilakukan hanya dalam waktu overall ya less than 10 minutes untuk setiap server yang akan diubah spesifikasinya.
Terima kasih Mas Roy atas tambahannya gitu ya. Jadi tadi ada dua metode scaling yang ada di Alibaba ya, dijelaskan oleh Mas Roy tadi. Dan itu cepet ya Mas ya Roy ya, mau scale out ataupun ya horizontal scale ataupun vertical scale, berapa cepat Mas? Second, minute?
Kalau horizontal scaling karena ini melibatkan pembuatan instance baru gitu ya, tapi walaupun ini melibatkan pembuatan instance baru, tetapi ini tidak akan impact ke aplikasi kita selama kita setup secara proper gitu ya. Ini bisa makan waktu kira-kira 5-10 menit per instant tergantung dari bagaimana kita mengkonfigurasi aplikasi kita untuk startupnya gitu ya. Kalau memang startupnya cukup lama dari sisi aplikasi, mungkin itu membutuhkan waktu sekitar 10 menit. Tetapi untuk horizontal scaling dengan pendekatan misalkan kontainer gitu ya, ini akan memakan waktu yang jauh lebih singkat. Karena untuk membuat satu kontainer baru itu cenderung lebih cepat daripada kita membuat server yang based on VM gitu ya, membuat satu server based on VM. Itu kalau horizontal scaling. Kemudian yang vertical scaling, langkahnya simple ya. Kita tinggal power off, kemudian kita ubah sesuai dengan kebutuhan. Setelah itu power on. Seharusnya prosesnya itu kurang dari 10 menit. Bedanya dengan horizontal scaling adalah vertical scaling ini memerlukan downtime karena sebelum kita bisa ubah spesifikasinya, posisi server harus dalam posisi off.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Mas Roy atas penjelasannya. Jadi intinya dimungkinkan mau horizontal, vertikal, dan seterusnya gitu ya, dan bisa juga dikombine dengan apa yang ada di private cloud kita gitu ya. Oke, terima kasih Mas Roy. Okay, so I will move to another question. This is a question from Mr. I Gusti Made Swardana. He is a head of IT in a bank. Yeah. So the question is, please inform me that there may be bank consumer or client that are using ZStack, and then. The second question is, if there are bank should use cloud for core banking or DRC? So, Kate, how you answer the question from Mr. Igusti Made Swardana? Do you have a customer in bank area that already using ZStack? And if there from your client that using ZStack for core banking or DRC, please.
For the banking customer, we have not in the Indonesia, but in other side of the in Russia, we have the banking which currently in the POC process, And then they are testing our basic function as well as another features like the HA or else. So, but for me, I'm not sure about you mean the cloud banking or the else? That the second question is?
Core banking. Is it possible to use ZStack for a core banking solution?
Banking solution, I think should be.
Should be.
But for the details, I think I have to have more details about it so that I can determine which is it possible to do it or what is the architecture or the other further information.
Okay, thank you, Kit. For the RC, Mr. Roy already explained before that. Yeah, for sure we can use the RC scenario if we want to using hybrid cloud or ZStack. Yeah. So okay, Pak Mr. Roy, do you want to add some additional answer, Mr. Roy?
Cukup sih terkait dengan ZStack untuk banking solution ya.
Siap, Pak Roy. Kalau di Indonesia tadi disebutkan belum ada, Pak Roy ya, tadi untuk banking solution menurut Kate ya. Lalu menurut Pak Roy yang langsung di Indonesia ada nggak nih Pak Roy yang katakanlah banking solution yang pakai Alibaba, Pak Roy? Kalau tadi kan dari ZStack belum ada. Kalau yang pakai Alibaba terkait sama banking solution, Pak Roy?
Ya, banyak. Banyak customer kita dari FSI, apalagi di awal-awal gitu ya. FSI itu tentunya membutuhkan satu data center yang ada di Indonesia secara lokasi data gitu ya. Dan pada saat itu Alibaba Cloud adalah cloud global provider pertama yang memiliki data center di Indonesia. Oleh karena itu kita cukup strong di FSI industry. Salah satunya adalah banking.
Oke, menarik ya, karena memang Alibaba Cloud ini adalah global cloud provider yang pertama ada di Indonesia. Jadi mungkin waktu itu orang nggak ada ini ya Pak Roy ya, wah cuman ada Alibaba pilihannya gitu. Jadi ini yang menarik, jadi mungkin bisa di-maintain customer-nya sampai sekarang mungkin gitu ya. Oke, thank you Pak Roy. So I will ask the audience that joining with Microsoft Team Platform here. Do you have any question to Kate? If you have any question, please raise your hand so we can open on the mix and you can have conversation directly with Kate. If you have question, please raise your hand. Okay, because no one raised the hand yet, so I will move to another question in left platform. So I will read another question. This is a question from Mr. Ivan Jogi Samudra Hutagal, head of sales from Idle. This is the question. Hi Kate, you mentioned there are triggers alarm or notification in ZStack Cloud regarding for storage, memory, volume, CPU, etc. Is the notification automatically or we need to check it manually? If yes, can it send automatically to email, message, or WhatsApp? Kate, how to answer the question for Mr. Ivan? Please, Kate.
For the alarm message, we support to send alarm message to different devices, like using the email or another IM tools, such as one is called ThinkTalk we have used here, and another one and is the email and the SMS. We can also support it.
Okay, thank you, Kate. How about WhatsApp, Kate? Is it possible to configure to WhatsApp?
And now I think it's not possible now, but I think further on we will have to develop the alarm message to send to the WhatsApp group.
So is it possible? But we should do by ourselves. Yeah, we should consume the API and we can do delivering message through WhatsApp by ourselves. Is it possible?
For the existing, we have the email server. We also got the API for you to integrate with your IM tools.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Kate. Okay. So I will read another question. This is question from Mr. Usman Yubaidi. He is IT staff in Jaring Sinergi Mandiri. The answer is, can we update the CentOS distro in ZStack? And how about effect to the VM? Kate, is it possible if we want to update the CentOS distro? CentOS is one of the Linux distribution, yeah. And how it's the effect to the VM if you want to upgrade the CentOS?
For the CentOS, this will be okay for the platform because you just upgrade the CentOS inside the VM. I think there will be no effect on the platform.
Okay, so the answer is we can do, and then this is no effect, ya, Kit, ya. Yeah. Okay. The another question. We have question from Mr. Septiono Kurniawan, and the question is, what are the convenience offer by ZStack and hybrid cloud by Alibaba? How about the mechanism for charging costs? Is it appropriate to the one use or by package? How you can answer the question from Mr. Septiono, please, Kate.
Do you mean the hybrid cloud module with the ZStack cloud, or to use the private cloud features and the public cloud features?
I think what he means is, what is the benefit of ZStack hybrid cloud offered by Alibaba and ZStack, yeah? And how about the charging mechanism? This is package. We should buy in the package or by use, yeah.
And for the ZStack cloud, we have a package for count by the CPU used in the ZStack cloud. But I think in the Alibaba cloud, this is as a pay-as-you-go model. So I think the two mechanism is different. But in the Alibaba cloud, in the ZStack cloud, I have mentioned some of the add-on module, and this has some different of the module, like the counting of the perpetual license or the subscription license, as well as they are counting the CPU used in this module or the one package of the module. So I think both ZStack cloud and the Alibaba cloud is different in the billing mechanism.
Oke, thank you, Kate. Pak Roy, dalam konteks tadi Pak Roy, ketika katakanlah kita punya mekanisme public cloud atau Alibaba jadi public facing-nya, dan kemudian akan ada koneksi ke private cloud gitu ya. Jadi dalam konteks itu Pak Roy, charging-nya gimana Pak Roy?
Oke, jadi pada saat kita mau membangun satu hybrid cloud solution ya, baik itu menggunakan ZStack atau menggunakan existing environment yang ada di customer side, maka dari charging itu tergantung dari apa yang kita gunakan. Karena di Alibaba Cloud itu konsepnya bukan package ya, tetapi semua charging akan timbul dari semua service yang kita gunakan. Nah, dari semua service ini kita bisa ada beberapa metode pembayaran ya. Ada yang pay-as-you-go di mana kita hanya perlu bayar pada saat kita pakai resources itu. Ada yang subscription, kita bisa commit either itu sebulan atau setahun. Komponen-komponen yang nantinya mempengaruhi terhadap charging diantaranya adalah terkait dengan networking-nya. Apa jenis network yang akan kita pakai? Apakah kita akan menggunakan VPN atau kita akan menggunakan dedicated line. Kalau kita menggunakan VPN, ada beberapa komponen ya. Pertama, terkait dengan VPN gateway instances-nya, ini akan di-charge per jam. Kemudian terkait dengan traffic-nya, ini hanya akan di-charge untuk traffic keluar. Lalu kalau kita menggunakan dedicated line, maka charging-nya ada di dua sisi. Pertama dari sisi Alibaba Cloud, kemudian dari sisi lokal ISP yang membantu kita untuk menghubungkan ya dari Alibaba Cloud Data Center ke customer data center melalui fiber optic. Di luar itu semua, maksud saya bisa jadi ada komponen yang mesti dibayar yang itu bukan ke Alibaba. Misalkan dari sisi on-prem, ada fitur-fitur yang diperlukan untuk mendukung koneksi hybrid ini. Bisa jadi itu ada cost-cost lain. Misalkan kalau kita mau membangun satu backup ya, remote backup. Remote backup kita punya produk namanya HPR, semuanya di-provide oleh Alibaba Cloud. Namun jika customer memang sudah cukup nyaman dengan existing backup management, kemudian membutuhkan Alibaba Cloud as a repository, as a storage provider, maka customer dibebankan untuk membayar existing backup management yang digunakan oleh customer. Sedangkan ke Alibaba Cloud nanti cukup membayar untuk keperluan storage, mungkin traffic pada saat. Kira-kira itu Mas Alex.
Oke, terima kasih Mas Roy. Jadi ini perlu mungkin ini ya bertanya nanti ke cloud providernya ya, karena khususnya ke Alibaba nih. Charging apa aja komponen-komponennya. Jadi nanti kita bisa mendapatkan perspektif yang lebih baik untuk memutuskan mana yang akan kita pakai. Karena tadi ada berbeda-beda pembiayaannya. Ada yang bayar per jam tadi gitu ya, ada yang bayar diakses dan seterusnya gitu. Jadi ini perlu katakanlah nanti menjadi salah satu yang kita consider untuk menghitung biayanya ya. Jangan sampai nanti biayanya kita tidak hitung dengan benar, akhirnya nanti kaget di akhir bulan gitu ya. Oke. Oke, so there is no. Oke, Mas Roy, ini ada satu pertanyaan terakhir ini ya. Ini pertanyaannya cukup menarik ini tadi terkait dengan Mas Roy jelaskan terkait sama Express Connect tadi ya. Nah, ini pertanyaannya dari Bapak Septiono Kurniawan ya, masih sama dari Pak Septiono. Pertanyaannya adalah untuk menggunakan Express Connection, apakah ISP harus menggunakan NAP yang sama dengan layanan dari Alibaba? Gimana nih, Mas Roy?
Nggak harus sih, tetapi yang jelas ISP itu harus punya partnership dengan kita. Artinya kalau misalkan ISP yang ada di gedung atau belum punya partnership dengan Alibaba Cloud, maka si ISP itu harus bekerjasama dengan ISP berikutnya yang sudah punya partnership dengan Alibaba Cloud.
Oh, oke. Jadi ini harus ada kerjasama dulu dengan ISP gitu ya. Tapi ISP besar pastinya sudah bekerja sama dengan Alibaba kan, Mas Roy ya?
Betul. Tetapi ISP yang ada di gedung tersebut misalkan, karena ini kan nanti ada benar-benar narik fiber optik gitu ya. Bisa jadi ISP yang besar belum sampai ke gedung itu gitu kan. Makanya ada bisa jadi dua ISP gitu kan. Tapi routing ini pastinya sudah menjadi internal mereka lah antara dua lokal ISP ini.
Oh, I see. Oke, Mas Roy. Jadi karena ada butuh koneksi ke site-nya customer. Dalam artian di site-nya customer tadi butuh bekerja sama dengan ISP yang sudah bekerja sama dengan Alibaba. Itu daftar ISP yang sudah bekerja sama bisa diakses dari mana, Mas Roy?
Mostly sih yang ISP besar yang ada di Indonesia sudah partnership dengan kita ya.
Oh, oke, baik. Ya, nanti mungkin bisa japri Mas Roy kalau mau nanya-nanya langsung mana saja ISP yang sudah bekerja sama gitu ya. Karena tentu saja penting banget ya network performance dalam konteks hybrid cloud ini gitu. Dan kita tahu ya saat ini kita di Indonesia di kota-kota besar aja masih ada kendala, apalagi mungkin di kota-kota yang sifatnya di luar Jawa dan seterusnya. Jadi memang butuh memastikan koneksi yang aman dan juga cepat gitu untuk iya benar. Oke. So currently there is no question, new question from the platform, and no question from the audience that joining with Microsoft Teams. Okay, so Kate, can you give us the closing remarks from your presentation? But before that, I will share information to the audience first. So during I give the information, maybe you can prepare the closing remarks.
Okay.
Oke. Oke, Bapak Ibu, kita sudah hampir sampai di penghujung kegiatan kita. Nah, sebelum kita akhiri, saya mau menyampaikan beberapa informasi. Ini saya ngulang lagi informasi yang harapannya Bapak Ibu nanti juga bisa mendapatkan manfaat yang maksimal dari kegiatan hybrid cloud week kita ini. Nah, Bapak Ibu, buat yang sudah mengikuti kegiatan webinar ini dari awal sampai akhir ya, di mana Bapak Ibu punya kesempatan untuk mendapatkan Alibaba Cloud Voucher sebesar 1.500 US dollar. Nah, untuk bisa mendapatkan kredit voucher tadi, nah Bapak Ibu tinggal akses di sini nih, ada kolom jajak pendapat ya, ada jajak pendapat. Tinggal klik di jajak pendapatnya. Nah, Bapak Ibu akan ada halaman untuk mengisi survei. Nah, tinggal isi surveinya di sini. Klik survei.aliu.com ini ya. Nah, di sini akan ada tampilan untuk mengisikan informasi pribadi Bapak Ibu dulu, nama, perusahaan, dan seterusnya gitu ya. Dan di sini dibutuhkan namanya Alibaba Cloud ID. Nah, kalau Bapak Ibu belum punya, silahkan Bapak Ibu daftar dulu lewat halaman ini. Jadi ini bisa di copy ya, bisa di copy, kemudian bisa di paste di sini. Nah, di sini Bapak Ibu bisa bikin Alibaba Cloud ID, artinya tinggal next, mau bisnis akun atau individual akun ya, tinggal next, atau mau cepat nih sign up dengan Google nih, tinggal satu klik nih. Nah, kalau sudah nanti selesai, nah Bapak Ibu bisa mengisikan Alibaba Cloud ID-nya dengan alamat email yang tadi didaftarkan di sini. Dan isikan semuanya sehingga nanti akan dicek oleh tim dari Alibaba Cloud, dan nanti apabila data-data Bapak Ibu yang isikan sudah sesuai, nanti akan diberikan kredit Alibaba Cloud sebesar 1.500 US dollar. Lumayan banget ya, 20-an juta. Mau belajar hybrid cloud udah lumayan banget tuh, belajar konfigurasi ataupun mempelajari fitur-fitur yang ada di Alibaba gitu ya. Oke, dan juga yang terakhir nih, kalau Bapak Ibu mau cetak sertifikat kehadiran, nanti tinggal klik cetak sertifikat di sini. Nah, nanti akan ada menu tampilan kurang lebih seperti ini. Nah, sebelum cetak sertifikat, apakah Bapak Ibu mau mendukung kami dengan subscribe ke YouTube channel kami? Ya, kami harapannya Bapak Ibu mau mendukung kami ya. Silahkan subscribe ke YouTube channel Cloud Computing Indonesia. Tinggal klik subscribe. Nah, setelah itu Bapak Ibu akan ada tombol cetak sertifikat di sini. Tinggal klik cetak sertifikat, dan sertifikat sudah terdownload di sini, di mana ini adalah sertifikat yang nanti Bapak Ibu akan dapatkan ya untuk hari ini. Dan apabila nanti Bapak Ibu juga ingin mendownload materi-materi yang diberikan oleh para pembicara ya, ini semuanya sudah diupload, kecuali yang hari ini ya, di sesi 1, 2, 3 semuanya sudah diupload. Nah, Bapak Ibu tinggal ke halaman sini, pastikan Bapak Ibu sudah login terlebih dahulu. Nah, nanti di sini akan ada halaman dokumen. Nah, di sini isinya adalah dokumen-dokumen dari para pembicara. Nah, tinggal download semua dokumen yang ada. Oke, demikian informasi yang bisa saya sampaikan, dan juga silahkan untuk stay tune di website event.cloudcomputing.id. Kami akan ada beberapa acara lagi ke depan di bulan September ya, nanti akan segera dipublikasikan. Silakan untuk Bapak Ibu nanti bisa mengikuti kegiatan-kegiatan kami dan mendaftar di kegiatan-kegiatan yang sesuai dengan minat dari Bapak Ibu semuanya. Oke, sebelum kita akhiri kegiatan kita kali ini, kita akan mendengarkan terlebih dahulu closing remark from Kate. Kate, please give us the closing remark.
Okay, for today's, I have presented the different scenario for the hybrid cloud solutions, and with the following characteristics like the seamless integration in the ZStack cloud platform. We can embed the Alibaba cloud platform to the ZStack cloud, and also with the easy to use that you can use the ZStack cloud platform to use the features in the Alibaba cloud. And I believe that with the help of the ZStack cloud and the Alibaba cloud integrated together, we can provide certain kinds of scenarios like the data backup on the cloud or the data storage on the cloud, as well as the data migration. So that's to facilitate the growth of the business. So that's all for today.
Okay, thank you, Kate, for the knowledge that you give to us. Yeah, hopefully this knowledge can help us to implement the digital infrastructure in our organization. Yeah, so we can have the best scenario in our organization. Instead of public cloud, we can use hybrid cloud or another scenario that possible. Yeah, so terima kasih pada Bapak Ibu semuanya yang telah katakanlah mengikuti seluruh rangkaian kegiatan Hybrid Cloud Week ini. Terima kasih pada Pak Roy dari Alibaba Cloud yang telah ikut berdiskusi pada kesempatan siang hari ini. Thank you thank you, Kate, for your presentation. Yeah, and then hopefully we can have another event in the near future to elaborate more about ZStack. Dan demikian Bapak Ibu, seluruh rangkaian kegiatan Hybrid Cloud Week kali ini ada kurang lebihnya dalam kami membawakan kegiatan ini, kami mohon maaf. Akhir kata, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sampai berjumpa lagi dalam kegiatan-kegiatan kami berikutnya. Terima kasih. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Pak Roy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Was an exciting year. We can see that the total number of unicorns, even more than double of the total number in 2019. we also witness our valuable customers to become unicorns, and many more are coming to become unicorn in the near future. In 2022, we are commit even more. We will invest millions of dollars to support the local startup ecosystem, to collaborate with VC, incubators, training and association partners to provide a knowledge, consultation, and hands-on guidance through your journey of digitalization.
In 2017, we got our first customer in Indonesia, which, as you can see here, was Gojek. They implemented our KYC solution.
Automotive industry, including the after-sales market, is very like traditional, and you can say it's a dinosaurs industry. It's very long.
Toko Crypto established in 2018, and then right now we are the first regulated crypto exchange in Indonesia.
We were talking about the cloud native digitalization.
Depict why they really believe that they can solve the problem that they see in the market, right?
Because it's just the infrastructure readiness is not there yet.
And in local teams, we support our own Indonesia ecosystem. So what are the benefits? So as you can see here, we have 7 different kind of aspect we would like to support.
Me become a solution architect, then you can consult related the architect. Do you want to build on Alibaba Cloud infrastructure?
So in this unlock the full power of cloud, we believe in these 4 pillars, which is our main objectives.
When enterprise is considering private cloud migration, what would be the criteria standard? There is no matter of factors involved in choosing the right private cloud service provider and leading the enterprise hesitations. ZStack self-innovated a leading private cloud platform, ZStack Cloud with 4 standards. First, simple. ZStack Cloud can allow quick and simple installation and deployment. To complete the installation within 5 minutes and deployment within 10 minutes. Second, strong. ZStack Cloud is the only IaaS software in the market that can fully support reactive program. The next generation high availability secures your data center. Third, scalable. Providing rich RESTful APIs covers the comprehensive functions of ZStack Cloud. Users are flexible to scale up and down the infrastructure to query all resources. Fourth, smart. ZStack enables automatic operation maintenance, support one-click seamless upgrade for new features added, and to fix bugs regularly. Provide clear and simple guidelines on the intelligent UI when it occurs any problems or failures. Additionally, ZStack can provide comprehensive monitoring in real-time situation. User can control the usage of resources via the unified cloud management platform to allocate the resources with intelligence in order to increase cost effectiveness. ZStack empowered every enterprise to have their own cloud.